Hi, everybody. I'm here. Good afternoon if you're watching, or good evening, or good morning, whatever time it is where you are. Something came up. I was a little late today. Well, 11 minutes late. That's very late for me. But believe me, it wasn't my fault. But here I am, and I'm ready to do another one of these Saturday catch up with Mayos. So, and again, I'm trying to do this every Saturday around this time. Sometimes it could be 4 o'clock, sometimes 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock Eastern, around there, 4 or 5 o'clock, give or take. And I'm glad to be here, and I hope that we are going to have some good conversations going on because I'm anxious to talk all things Beatles, solo Beatles, and other things within reason. So, hello. So let's see what we got here. Mr. M says, good snowy afternoon. Yeah, we got some snow out here. It sucks. But where I am, it's not a lot. I mean, I haven't been outside in about 2 hours. 2 hours ago, it wasn't bad. I don't know what it is like now. The Beatles visited Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, on February 18th. Brian, good afternoon to you. Hello, Mike. What's the good word? Hey, hello there, Elvin. And Dino. And Joe F. What do you say, Joe? Let's see. Here we go. Over here, it's cold, snow, and windy. Looks like a winter wonderland, only missing Perry Como. How is it there? I haven't been outside in a while, honestly, and I don't have a view here from where I am. Hello, Brad Hill. Hello, Chrissy. I hate snow. I can't wait for summer either, let me tell you. James, good afternoon. Hello, Rob. Have you spoken to anyone who was fortunate enough to see Paul at the Bowery? If so, how was his voice? Well, I haven't spoken to anybody myself who's been there, but of course, I do know that Andy Nichols of Two Legs got to go, and he was raving about the show along with Heidi and Joan Borelli, and over on their channel, they were talking about it. And by all accounts, it was really good. And Paul sounded good and everything. Hello, Andy. What's going on? Okay, and I'm just going to take a sip of water here. Got that dry throat kicking in. And I also think the dry throat, but also I need to get the Swiffer in here. Dust a little bit. What's my favorite thing about the summer? Everything. But I think the first thing I would have to say is the temperatures. I guess the temperatures are number one. I like the warmer temperature. And then there's a whole bunch of other things I could list forever. Are there any surprise set list songs? Well, I heard that Temporary Secretary was in the third night. Flaming Pie was in the second night. I think Every Night was also in the second night. There were not a lot of surprises from what I heard, from what I've been following online. Morning and afternoon to Robbie. So, what's going on, everybody? Lots of action lately with McCartney. I'm wearing a George Harrison shirt, right now, living in the material world, the hand symbol. But boy, I tell you, a lot of Paul stuff going on, and of course Ringo. Ringo's going to have his show that's on, Ringo Starr and Friends at the Ryman, which is going to be on March the 10th on TV, CBS, and in the States, and also Paramount Plus, I believe. My neighbor stood in line 2 mornings for McCartney tickets. Good. You got. I was saying to one of my commenters that you really have to go out and get what you want. If you really want something like to see Paul, you have to really make the effort. It doesn't very rarely it'll just come handed to you on a silver platter. What happened to the Danny chats? Well, it's not just Danny chats, it's all chats where it's me and other people just hanging out and BSing. I decided I don't want to do those anymore, at least for the time being. Do I think it's got nothing to do with anybody in particular? It's got nothing to do with Danny, got nothing to do with anybody. It's just that I'm not into that right now. And do I think that I'm never going to do them again? I wouldn't say that. I would say that I will go back at some point. But right now, I just want to do me and myself here. And also, if I'm going to do a show where I have other people on with me, that will be a dedicated Beatles show. You know what I mean? Some kind of Beatles thing where we talk or subject. We have a topic and we go on. But what I call this, like hanging out, this general Mayo lounge stuff, this free for all, you know, everybody just go on there and whatever happens. No. Were these gigs, the Paul McCartney gigs, a total surprise or were there rumors? Well, the first one was a total surprise. First day, nobody knew it. The second day, people thought he might be playing a second concert on the second one, but still nobody was sure. And then the third one, I'd heard some strong rumors. You know, I'd heard rumors around, and that's all they were rumors about the third one. What has been your hello, Andy, by the way, if I didn't say hello already. What has been your favorite release of the last few months? Mind Games, Living in the Material World, or Look Up? I think Look Up was very exciting, the Ringo album, because I really love the album. By the way, there's going to be, or there should be, I think coming on Monday, a new Talk More Talk show where Talk More Talk, the topic is going to be Ringo Starr's Look Up album. But I also like the 2024 new mix on Living in the Material World, like George's album. And I also liked the new mix that was done for Mind Games for John, with the exception of a saxophone being taken out. Other than that, I like the rest of it a lot. And yes, tomorrow there's going to be the show for Saturday Night Live's 50th. You know, does Julio still go to the record store? I haven't heard from Julio in a while. It's been a couple of months since I spoke to him, I think, on the phone, but I have not seen him at the record store. I don't know if he goes there anymore. I haven't seen him there. And it's James Farley. Hello. What's going on, James? She was in line around 4 a.m. the first time. There were 50 tickets available only to the public. Well, that's what I heard. I heard that on the third night, I think it was the third night. Here it is, the second night. There were 75 tickets only for the public. I think that's disgusting. You want to know the truth? I think it's disgusting. I have nothing against the rich people and the VIPs and the celebrities and all this going to the shows, but come on, you probably met Paul plenty of times. You've probably seen him live, probably got backstage and shook his hand plenty of times. Let the little people have a chance, Scott. You know what I mean? I don't get that, but whatever. Okay. Would you like to see Paul live one more time? Sure, I would. I've heard that he's doing pretty good lately. If I don't get to see Paul live one more time, I'm good. I saw him 11 times live. And one of those times was 1992 at the Ed Sullivan Theater for the up close taping where I won tickets over the radio and I was right up against the stage, seeing Paul like 6 feet away from me. So I'm good. Having said that, sure, I'd see him again. Sometimes, let's be fair. Sometimes I say, well, I don't know anymore. It depends on the set list he's going to do. It's going to be the same set list. How's his voice? Well, I hear that his voice is doing much better now. That's what I hear. So, yeah, I'm you know what it is? I get, like anybody else, I get carried away with the whole fanfare of it, the mania, the Beatlemania thing. So I'd like to go for that reason, Hello, Raymond. How are you? Okay. Their version of Pepper Aside, what is your opinion of the Bee Gees? Well, honestly, when I was like 15, I think it was, the first time I ever heard of the Bee Gees, believe it or not, when I was 15, was through Saturday Night Fever. My sister was a disco fan. My sister bought that record, and she would turn the basement of our house into a discotheque, and she would be dancing and stuff with her friend, and having a great time. And I would hear the Bee Gees, "Staying Alive," and all those songs. "How Deep Is Your Love?" And I loved it. I thought they were great, and I didn't know right out of the gate that the Bee Gees already had a long career before that, but I do now, of course. But I didn't know then. I heard the February 11th Bowery concert from an audience recording. Paul is in great voice. That is fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. He must have done something. Maybe he took some songs down a key or something, because I hear he's doing good. I love Paul, of course, but this is just a publicity stunt. So flippin' what? Can I ask you that? So what? People are having fun. People have memories that'll last them a lifetime. Who cares? Who cares? I'm having fun just watching the videos that I see of Paul going in and out, coming in and out of the place, waving the fans. Paul, Paul. I just love it. I don't care if it's a publicity stunt. Okay. Let's see. The Carter's Remasters put up one of the Bowery shows already. Okay. Hello there, lady. What's going on, Mark? If you've seen Paul live one more time, what song would be on your wish list? And if he did play it, how would you feel? I've always said I'd like to see or hear Paul do Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. Now, I don't think he can really do that justice without Linda, to be honest with you. But I always said if he could work out some kind of arrangement, if they could get the sound effects just right and the arrangement perfect, and somehow get a voice, maybe have Linda's voice come in somehow. If they could do that, would be my number one. Okay, and we're talking about with the 2026 Academy Awards, all films nominated have to reveal if AI is used. I don't think it would stop films with AI from being nominated and winning, but it will let voters in that category know. I did not see The Wolfman, or just Wolfman actually, and I have no interest to see it. Honestly, I heard like one or two good reviews. Most of them were poor reviews, or mediocre reviews. So I really don't care. I am hoping I can get a Bob Dylan ticket. They go fast here and hardly get a chance to get one. Yep, I've seen Dylan twice. Thoughts on stories after a celebrity death? Then there are reports they're still alive. Then there are sightings and theories, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's ridiculous. The conspiracy theories, a celebrity who died, like Elvis, is still alive, right? Jim Morrison, who died, supposedly is still alive. Paul McCartney, who's alive, died back in the 60s. It's always the opposite, right? Yeah. People need that for whatever reason. Can't you go and collect stamps or something? Start a coin collection or something, or, without thinking too much, your second favorite Paul, John, George, and Ringo songs. Nah, I can't even think of my first favorite, much less my second. I don't know. For Ringo, my second would be Photograph. My first is It Don't Come Easy. I don't know. John, I might say my favorite John song, if we're talking solo songs, by the way, might be Instant Karma, maybe Mind Games number 2. George, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth is number 1. Sorry, too much dryness here. But you want to know number 2. Cheer Down, maybe? I don't know. And Paul, maybe I'm Amazed, number 1. Uncle Albert, number 2. I don't know. Yeah, it would be nice to hear Paul perform something, anything off Ram. I have got a major dry coughs here. I love a lot of Bob Dylan songs. I could go on forever, but if I say that Like a Rolling Stone is my favorite, that sounds so boring. But it is. Like a Rolling Stone, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, Ballad of Hollis Brown, Just Like a Woman, Joker Man, Gotta Serve Somebody, Pay in Blood from Tempest. I mean, I could go on forever. I say It's All Over Now, Baby Blue. I think I did. Masters of War. Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. I just got back from my local record store. They actually had a promo 45 of Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, the red label parlophone, really. It came home with me. But that was the original because they did re-release it, reissue it with, I hope it was the when you saw Dylan, did he perform Quinn the Eskimo, aka the Mighty Quinn? No, he didn't. I put it this way: the first time I saw him in 1989, he was so bad. You know how he always rearranges the songs and he changes it up. If he did do the Mighty Quinn in 1989, I didn't recognize it. He might have done it, and I didn't even know it. Hello, Nicholas. Have I seen any movies? I watched a couple of movies I've seen a million times before. I had my friend Anthony over, and we watched a double feature of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. First time he was seeing both of them. So it's always a joy for me to show movies that I like and I know well to people who haven't seen them yet. Do I ever listen to any of my Beatles mono box? Well, the first thing is, I sold it a long time ago, and I regret that I did. Now, I regret it. But I did sell it quite a while ago before it was worth a lot of money, unfortunately. And I did get to play a couple of the records before I sold it. I have not seen the new Fantastic Four trailer. I'm not really interested in the superhero genre anymore. Doc is subtly on a Duran Duran kick. Do I need professional help? No. I think Duran Duran are pretty good. I only know 4 or 5 songs, but I like them. The ones I know, I like. Let's put it that way. When did you see Ringo live for the first time? If you remember, was the show good? The first time I saw Ringo was in August of 1989 at Jones Beach, New York. And it was a thrill. It was great to see Ringo. The only thing I remember that first time that I saw him, although I enjoyed the show, I was sitting on such an angle that every time Ringo went on his drum kit, I couldn't see him. I never saw him when he was playing the drums. I only saw him when he was up front. That's the only thing. This requires way too much time to think about it. I know other people do that. They'll do live streams and they'll take the time and say, "Let me think here." And they'll take like 8 minutes, and meanwhile they fall too far behind in the questions. So I don't really want to do that. I'd have to think about a long time with that. Okay, I had a discussion in work about the Marx Brothers. Who, said my colleagues, they were like Laurel and Hardy. Who, said my workmates. I despair. Well, it's very sad, Lila. Very sad. Feel sorry for them, but hopefully they'll learn as they go on. I do like the song "A View to a Kill" from the James Bond movie of the same name. I like the Reflex also. Yeah. Hello, Eric. Sorry, man. Oh, man, this throat all of a sudden. I normally only go online on my computer, but I thought I'd try it on my phone. My wife and I are shopping. You tell them that's what you're making me with my voice, making me read. Okay. Do you think there are more germs about than normal? You always seem to be getting cold throats. Yeah, I do think there's more germs. Yeah, I do think. Well, not just me, but I think generally speaking in the world, there seems to be more crap going on. Hello, George. What's going on? I have not seen the Led Zeppelin film. I think it only opened yesterday. If I do see it, which I'm somewhat interested, but I wouldn't, wouldn't kill myself to go see it. But I mean, I wouldn't knock myself out or whatever. But uh, I think I'm going to see it in the IMAX theater. Hmm. Let's see. The reports about the Led Zeppelin film is that it is open ended and too many talking heads. A lot of people say that about documentaries. Have you heard if Rachel's ghost is coming back? I heard there was a Patreon live stream, not the regular channel, but a Patreon. I don't. That's all I know about it. All right, get a little breather here for a moment or two, or three, or four. Uh, I don't know. I guess because I'm a Joan Jett fan, I'd like there to be a really good Joan Jett bio, but done right. The one that was out, The Runaways. Even though Joan was what's the word, an informant or a helper, she was a consultant for the Runaways. Some of it was not right, of course. Well, of course, Ringo's the better drummer for me. I mean, I like Keith Moon too. Keith Moon is amazing, and he's very animated, and he's very fast, and he's all over the place and very impressive. I mean, he's a great drummer. Keith Moon was a great drummer. I just like Ringo. He's just what the Beatles needed, and he does interesting fills. And I'm a Beatles fan. My favorite Peter Cushing Frankenstein movie is the movie that I used to put quotes on from. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. I think that's my favorite Peter Cushing Frankenstein movie. And I'm going to put a line from there. This is a scene, and it's a line that I live by. And I use it almost every day.
I'm afraid that stupidity always brings out the worst in me.
Stupidity?
Yes, stupidity.
I wouldn't say that I said I use it every day, that line. I don't use it every day, but I feel that almost every day, one way or another. Seems it's inevitable. Uh, I don't know. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, even though I know Tom Petty started in the 70s, but I like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I mean, Joan Jett, the Blackhearts, the Cars. Cars started also in the late, the 70s, but I'll go for the Cars. Those are some that popped out in my mind. Yeah, the vinyl version of the mono box is the one that I set. Let's see. Have you ever been to the UK? I never have been, and I always say when that question is brought up, I would like to go one day. I would. Tonight's Svengoolie feature is Should I Bother? I think it's worth seeing, but your mileage may vary, Doc. We don't always agree on everything. But I thought tonight, Svengoolie, wait a minute, I thought he was going to play Teenagers from Outer Space. Help me with that a little bit. Are you excited about Talk More Talk this Monday? Yes, I am. Are there any teasers of what's to come? The only thing I can say, I'm not going to say too much, is that we talk mainly about Ringo's album, Look Up, which personally, I wish that we had been able to get to that sooner because it took us a while to get it together. Everybody was able to make it. And we're a little late on this topic, but there are also going to be other surprises. Okay, so there'll be some surprises. Mazzy said there weren't many talking heads besides the 4 band members in the Zepp film. Okay, well, Mazzy knows this stuff too, so there you go. He says something. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. All right. Hype stickers, if they stopped doing them, would you miss them? Sure, I'd miss them. Sure, but it's not a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker. The commercial this morning said, it's you're making me hiss like a snake. That's what you're making me do. But who is better, Led Zeppelin or The Who for you? I like both. If I have to pick one, it'd be Led Zeppelin. I prefer Led Zeppelin to The Who if I had to pick one. I'm glad to hear that, Eric. Much appreciated. And once again, I'll say again, it's going to be Monday night. The time is moving. It's a new time. It's Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Any thoughts on changing the title of your movie channel again? Well, I don't I don't intend on changing it again. Let's put it that way. For at least not right now, but I'm sure I will. Until I really get something I like. How's Danny doing? I just talked to him today, and he's doing great. I just talked to him this morning. Have you bought any movies or records? I bought some records, I think. Yeah, and maybe I'll show a few if I get a few more. Because, like I say, I'm still buying records. It's not that I'm not buying any, but I cut them down. I watched Piranha this week, and it was sort of laughable. Well, there's a Piranha, an earlier one from the 70s, I think, right? And then there was one that came out, in more recent times. And Dino misses Danny. There you go. Yeah, I miss him on the screen. We had some fun. We had some doozies. So, can't believe there aren't any media rumblings about the 50th anniversary of Jaws. I would bet money that there's going to be Jaws events. I bet, in the summer, hopefully, we would think June, July, August. In the summer, I would think there had to be. There has to be. I mean, one of the most sure things in the world to bet on for me would be that there would be 50th anniversary screenings or a lot of stuff going on for Jaws. So there you go. If you're asking me if I'm going to the classroom tomorrow morning, no. I haven't gone there in a couple of weeks, and I'm glad that I'm not going to be there tomorrow. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do these shows no more from the classroom. I used to be there on Monday. Sometimes on some Sundays, certain Sundays of the month, I'd be there, and Sunday mornings doing this. And sometimes on Tuesday evenings, they'd be there doing this. I'm trying to do them all from home now. And when I go there, I'll just not do them anymore. I'll find some other way to occupy myself, read a book, maybe just watch other stuff on the computer, whatever. Hello, Gregory. And Richard James, hello. Is it true that Mike Nesmith and Peter Tork didn't like each other? I forget who didn't like who. I thought there was some Davy problems with Mike, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. Or are they scared that Jaws will impact on actual tourist trade in the summer? I don't know. I've talked about this already. There's no scandals or anything. I just decided that I choose not to do shows where I have multiple people on here just hanging out and chewing the fat and going all over the map and talking about anything and everything. Right now, I don't want to do those, and it's nothing personal against anybody. I like the earlier time for Talk More Talk. Is that regular now? All I know is that the premiere this coming Monday, the 17th, is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, and I think we're looking at an earlier time. Going forward, I don't know, but let's just say for now, it's 7 p.m. Okay, hi Kevin. Have you read "Love Me Do" the Beatles' Progress by Michael Brown? No, I have not. What's your favorite fast food that you still eat? Well, when I eat it or when I don't eat it, Burger King is my favorite of those fast food joints. I just think the burgers are more natural, flame grilled. I think McDonald's sucks. They all suck. But there you go. Nesmith and Torque were not the best of friends. Uncle Paul says good afternoon. Hello, Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. Check him out. Check him out. I have not seen Blue Velvet. Mm-mm. Can't help you there. Speaking of Jaws, Robert Shaw was cheated of an Oscar nomination, which he would have won hands down, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, Uncle Paul. All right, let's get some more water down the gullet. Favorite movie villain? I don't know. Does Dracula count? Does Frank? I don't know. Uh, Again, I can't come up. I just can't come up with them. I wish I could, man. I know it sounds like such a cop out, but it's true. I mean, I want to give the right answer. In order to do that, it's got to take some time to think about it. You know. Yeah. Thank you, Dino. Yeah, I just put an interview up with Don from the record store. Don, he's getting harder and harder to understand. I asked him to try to use a little bit more volume in his voice to enunciate his words a little more, which I'm trying to do when I do these appearances on my show and other shows, other people. But it's getting harder and harder to understand Don, I'm afraid. Some people jokingly said, oh, you got to put subtitles when Don's speaking. Well, you can put on the captions, the words captions on YouTube. YouTube has captions just for fun. After I put the interview with Don up, I played it back and I put the captions on there just to see how closely it was. It was close enough. It was close enough. Subtitles were available on that video. Why sometimes they're not. I was live with Mikey. Mikey Arugula. Yeah, shout out for Mikey Arugula. I'm sure it's a fun time with him. But he makes you tired, or he's good guy, but boy, it's really exhausting sometimes in a good way. Well, okay, what band or singer? Yeah, where you had the first three albums, then went off them, and they have released about 10 or so albums. You never bothered getting them. Oh God, I don't even know if such a thing happened. I can't think of that either. I can't. I can't think of that either. For God's sake. Is there? Well, that's a good thing. If you're able to make people laugh, that's a good thing. Whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. Oh, stop! I'll send the check in the mail. Give me your address again. I'll send you the check. But but I appreciate the kind words. It's fun. Hello, Joseph. Going well. It's doing good. Thank you. What I say, it's going well. It's doing good. I think it's the other way around. Going good, doing well. Whatever. You get the idea. Marks out of 10 on retirement. Well, retirement is a 10 out of 10 in most ways, I can't think of anything bad. The only bad thing about retirement for some reason is I find that being retired, time goes even faster. I thought that when I retired one day, I thought the time would slow down a bit. Weeks go by like minutes, and months go by like days, like a couple of days. That's the only thing. How's Joe from the record store? I saw him this afternoon for the first time in a while. He's looking great. And I asked him if he wanted to. He says he's going to want to come on the camera, but at some point he's going to want to come on with the record store videos, but he's not ready right now. But he looks well, and he seems to be doing well. I think today, Bazooka Joe said, "I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy." That's the main thing, isn't it? That says it all, really. Does Don have any place to live? I don't know really. I mean, I think he doesn't really have a place to live, but occasionally he stays at some hotels here and there. Not every day, of course. And he's got other places where he stays. And okay. Yes, Jim. Jim's in the comments. And yeah, like I say, you're welcome here to come here and leave comments. As long as you want to talk Beatles and stuff like that. I don't want to get too personal about that stuff right now, but Anyway, if there is snow, do you ever feel the impulse to build a snowman for old time's sake? Well, if your girlfriend will call you a big kid, I am a big kid no matter what, and I love that. I will always want to be a big kid. When there's a certain time where you don't want to be a kid. But everybody who gets older, who doesn't want to be 85 years old and still feel like a kid? But anyway, as far as the snow, I never built a snowman. No, I did do a snow angel several years ago. Oh yeah, I did get into the snow when I did a snow angel. Hello, Patrick. What's going on? Yes, McCartney has played Mull of Kintyre live. He has done that. Hello, ANT. What's going on? Have you heard any talk about the Beatles vinyl coming out in half-speed releases? Would you buy them if that happened? Absolutely not. I stopped buying the Paul McCartney. I was buying the McCartney half-speed masters, and I stopped that as well. And I sold the few that I had. So I stopped put my foot down with half-speed masters for Paul and everybody. There you go. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's just a matter of being more selective. Trying to be more selective. I'm trying to pick out things Have you heard any talk about the Beatles vinyl coming out in half? Oh, you just had this one. Duh. What do you love that Anthony hates and vice versa? Oh, I wonder if we have anything. Geez. I wish I could think of an answer for that. Uh, man, I know there's got to be an answer on that. Penny Lane, what's going on? We got more snow. Oh, brother, I don't know what it's like out there. I don't know. I haven't seen what it's like out there. I don't know what it's like. Get any more Elvis CDs or records? No. I almost bought a used CD box of Elvis that came out, I think, last year, maybe. The best of the Memphis years or something. It was Memphis with a kind of black and whitish cover of Elvis. And it had like the stuff he did, like the Sun records again repackaged. It was like all this stuff repackaged again. I said, no way. I had it in my hand and I'm like, stop already. Same thing with the Beatles. Again, the Beatles are a little different because I am a Beatles collector. But having said that, there's still things you can't have everything. And I don't want everything, And the beautiful thing is different people can have Beatle collectibles. And I can have some stuff that you might not have, and you might have some stuff that I don't have, and that's fine. But nobody has everything. It's impossible. And that's all right. Being a retired postal worker, do you think one day they will privatize the post office? I don't know if they ever will. I hope they don't. But anything's possible these days, but I don't know. Right now, my favorite John Lennon box set. That could be probably Imagine right now. I'm guessing. I recently heard McCartney's original demo of Step Inside Love. Yeah, I heard that. The song he gave to Cilla Black. I'm not wild about that song, but, it's still good to hear. There are other songs that were given away that I prefer to that one for sure. I believe time is faster now that I'm older because when I was young, work hours would drag on all day. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? We don't want time to feel like it's going too fast, but it really does. Would you love to have seen Woodstock? No, I'm not wild about Woodstock. I'm just not. I'm not. What can I tell you? That's unusual, I know, but didn't like most of it, of what I heard. That's the great thing about collecting Beatles. It's cool to see who has what in their collection. Everyone's Beatles collection is different. Absolutely. And especially if we're talking about the Beatles as a group and also collecting all four of their solo stuff in their careers. I mean, you cannot possibly have everything. And, it's just ridiculous to expect to, Do you like any folk singers or bands? Oh, I don't know. I've heard some Pete Seeger. I heard some Woody Guthrie, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Some of that was good. And there's probably folk bands I like too. The Elvis Memphis box set is undubbed except for the Sun recordings. Undubbed? Here in the UK, lots of retirement age go to the cinema to have an afternoon sleep. Shit. Hey, it happens, it happens. Sometimes a movie's so peaceful it could put you out. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes this is the truth. Right now, like when I was saying how I was just thinking, when I was saying how I'm trying to be more choosy about what I buy, I was going to tell you I have no intention of buying the soundtrack to A Complete Unknown. But then I thought, why not? I collect movie soundtracks, and I bought a lot of movie soundtracks. In fact, I have a few movie soundtracks down here that I got. Some of them were $1, some of them were $5. But anyway, I'm going to show those in a future video, some vinyl movie soundtracks I picked up recently. And I thought, well, if I got those, why wouldn't I want to get the Dylan one? The new Dylan, A Complete Unknown. If the Beatles re-released the vinyl mono box set at a reasonable price, there would be a ton of sales. You're right. I wonder if they're going to do that ever. A repress. Is the last decade trailer about Lennon a genuine film or a bootleg? I think there's a movie called Borrowed Time that's going to be coming out. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Yes, thank you very much. Hello from Iceland. Good to see you. No snow here. How many unopened boxes do you think Mikey Arugula has? Well, you can see when you watch the videos, you can see how many there are, and I don't know how many. Some of them are little boxes, some of them are huge boxes. He must have 100 or more boxes that have to be opened. I'm thinking, right? And hopefully we're going to be able to see a lot of those, because eventually I think he's going to go with just opening a lot of boxes of Beatles rarities, because right now what he's doing is when we do our shows together, he has a theme. He comes up with a topic or subject matter, and that becomes what he's going to show. But we might just start opening boxes and the hell with it. Hell with the theme. I don't know yet. It's up to what he wants to do. Really, I'm just the cameraman. I'm the cameraman and the editor. I record it. I'm a director too. I kind of direct things. Tell him how to do this, and I record it with the camera. Then I get home and edit the damn thing, which is a lot of work. So. Well, this is interesting. You say we did Conquest of the Planet of the Apes on Friday. Wow, what a movie. It's funny because my friend Annie and I just watched Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I love it. That's the first Planet of the Apes movie I saw when I was 10 years old in the movie theater. Mikey has all his big house and rooms with things, he said on Sticker Mania Livestream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. I'm glad to hear somebody say this because a lot of people don't notice it. There is a scene in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes where they try to, Caesar is a talking ape, and he's trying to hide that he's a talking ape, and the humans try to torture him with electric shock, and it is a horrifying sequence. What's your favorite video on the channel? Damn, I was just thinking about this. There's a video I did where I travel back to my old neighborhood that I grew up in as a child. And I share a lot of those experiences with everybody. And that's one of my favorite videos, I guess. That's the first one that comes to mind. That's my stock answer when people ask me, I usually come up with that. Don't worry, I'm off camera, but I still am here. I'm still talking. You don't have to go away. Let's see what we got here. Just looking at something here. All right. Sorry about that. Get right back. Yeah, Don is very hard to understand. It's just that he doesn't have any teeth, and he's getting older, and it's hard to understand him, the words he's saying, you know. Hello, Clownfist. What's the good word? Have you seen an item on another person's video, didn't know it was out, immediately ordered it in a panic, hoping it hasn't sold out? I must have done that, but I can't remember what. Oh, Don has seemed to lose weight. Well, Don was always very skinny and gaunt, but he's more skinny now than usual. Yeah. Start supper and watch today's episode of Gilligan. Oh, geez. Well, goodbye. But I have myself been watching Lost in Space. I'm still on season 1, but I'm getting closer to the end. Any new comic books? No, nothing. Nothing lately. When Don says you got a 20, that comes out clear as day. That's a good point. When he wants money, that comes out very clean and clear. This is true. Good point. Okay, what's a good word, folks? The only McCartney videos I've watched in New York City were videos of him, leaving the Bowery or entering the Bowery, arriving, leaving. Hogan's Heroes was a show that I just never got into. I mean, I love 60s and 70s TV shows, but there's some I just never really warmed up to. Another one is MASH. Never really warmed up to it. But if I was going to watch a show, I'd rather watch MASH. I'd rather watch MASH instead of Hogan's Heroes if I had to pick one. Let's put it that way. Still haven't watched any episodes of The Outer Limits. No, I mean, I got lots of other stuff I'm working on. I got Laurel and Hardy's silent films. All there's silent films. I'm working on those right now too. A few here and there. It's tough getting through those. I don't like the Laurel and Hardy silent films as much as the sound ones. I just don't. But I haven't gotten to their best silent films yet. The best ones I think come later. Hello, Nick. Are you going to watch the 50th Saturday Night Live special to see McCartney? Yep. And I hope he does a lot better at this one than he did on the 40th. He sang Maybe I'm Amazed, and he destroyed that song. When I say destroyed it, I mean his voice was terrible. That was, at the last anniversary one, or 40th anniversary, I guess it was. But I hope whatever he sings this time, I hope he does better, because he wasn't too good on the last one. Let's be fair about it, Let's call it as it is. Let's put it that way. Mm. My favorite McCartney's concert had to be in 1992 when I won tickets to see him up close. That was the name of the show, Ed Sullivan Theater. 1992, I was right up to the stage, and I was about 6 feet from Paul, 7 feet from Paul, something like that. Nothing. That was my intimate, close up experience at a McCartney show. Even though I didn't make it to the Bowery this week, nothing can top when you've seen somebody up that close, including a front row seat at a stadium show. Front row seats are great. Standing in front of the stage, standing up right at the stage, I'll look it up, even better. Not as bad as a Christmas episode when he sang Cut Me Some Slack and his voice was drained out by the other musicians that are Nirvana. Yeah, I don't remember that one. Yeah, this is the worst time of the. I hate this time of year. Boy, oh boy, it's snowing outside. Yeah. Hello, Piccolina the cat. Are you still watching Night Gallery Saturday evenings? No, I'm not. That's another thing. I started out with Night Gallery. I watched 4 or 5 episodes. They were okay. Nothing great, but okay. And I just went on to something else. I don't think any of them, the worst McCartney concert that I saw, I actually can't think of one, because none of them were bad, some were maybe better than others, but otherwise they were just average, there's nothing bad. Oh, stop, Dino, stop. Dino with his praises. How was the musical guest in 2012? I don't remember this stuff. I remember Wonderful Christmas Time. I remember him singing Wonderful Christmas Time and it being a little rough. I remember Wonderful Christmas Time. Yeah, I remember Martin Short doing a skit with Paul, playing the elf or something. Singers. Have you bought a DVD box set on a whim and you'll never watch it? I never bought a DVD box set on a whim knowing that I would never watch it. Any DVD set that I've ever bought, I'd buy with the intention that I want to watch it, The pic that I saw on Twitter seemed like the Bowery was too crowded. It looked like sardines. Okay, I wonder if Paul's people filmed or recorded any of the Bowery shows for future release. Now, I don't know 100%, but I spoke to somebody who told me that he saw Paul's camera crew, or the people who record things professionally, were there. So hopefully it's going to be an official release in good quality. Worst Toho Godzilla movie. I think King Kong versus Godzilla. And what's the other one? GMO. I don't know what GMO is. Oh, your favorites. The worst Godzilla film, Toho Godzilla film. I guess I gotta say, I don't want to say it, but I guess Godzilla's Revenge. Everybody says Godzilla's Revenge is the worst of the Godzilla movies, the vintage ones. I'm not wild about the second Godzilla film, Godzilla Raids Again. Not wild about that one. Paul's best duet with somebody on a tune. I like him and Ringo singing "Walk with You." Maybe I'm biased because it's one of the other Beatles, but I do like that. Oh, Godzilla -1. Duh. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And worst Toho Godzilla movie. Then again, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all of the newer ones. I have not seen all of the newer ones. I mean, I say newer, I mean from the 80s and 90s, 2000s. I haven't seen them all. Uh, let's see. Okay, my wife is a big Mets fan. We know you are too. I'm not a big Mets fan. No, no, no. Because I don't watch them every year. What are your thoughts about the coming season in Soto? Let's go Mets from us in Iceland. Well, I don't know enough about it. Is Soto the one that used to be on the Yankees and now he's on the Mets? Because if that's the case, if a former Yankee goes over to the Mets, as soon as he puts the uniform on, the Mets uniform, it's a curse. The Mets are cursed. And it goes the other way around. As soon as a former Met goes over to the New York Yankees, all of a sudden they're great, better than they were. That happened with Dwight Gooden. He didn't pitch a no-hitter until he went on the Yankees. He didn't pitch a no-hitter all the time he was with the Mets, My old friend, yep. Have you seen the Sam Peckinpah movie? No, I don't know that one. I'm afraid not. Does snowing stop you from going out even if you had something planned? It depends what that something planned is, It depends. If it's something that I don't have, I could something that could wait, or something that I don't need to do. I'll say screw it and not go. Other times I won't be slowed down at all. Would I like to see another Paul McCartney song with Stevie Wonder? I don't think so. I like Stevie Wonder. I like Paul McCartney, of course. I like them together. But they already did Ebony and Ivory and What's That You're Doing. I would rather see Paul McCartney record with somebody he never had before, like Bob Dylan, for example. I can't believe in all these decades Bob Dylan and Paul never worked together. That's crazy. I know that Bob Dylan madly admires Paul and his talents. So that would be the one. Is there any more room for shelving space in that stuff behind me? No, none at all. There's no room. There's a fantastic series available on Amazon Prime about Jack the Ripper, starring Michael Caine as the inspector. I recommend it. I like Michael Caine quite a bit, and me liking those kind of things, horror movies and stuff like that. Very good, very good. Sounds good to me. Yeah, Michael Caine's good. What's going on, everybody? The worst person that McCartney could duet with, in your opinion? Miley Cyrus? I don't know. That's the first thing that popped in my head. There must be worse. No, of course that's not the worst. I take it back. One of the rappers. Anybody who does rap. How's that? Yeah, I heard about that. Yes, I definitely heard about it. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Get Carter. Oh. Mr. Blood Vessel says has to be Kanye. As far as, the worst person to duet with McCartney. Oh, my favorite Stevie Wonder song is Superstition, I think. Yeah, Odyssey and Oracle. I have a copy of that, I believe, but it's not the original. It's a reissue. You know, it's funny. I said a little while ago. I said, "Yeah, Kanye West. Yeah, that would be bad." I think, of course, he did. He did. He worked with Kanye already. 4 or 5 seconds or whatever it's called. Oh, hold on. First, this one. I'm not familiar with McCartney 3 Imagined. Will the Talk More Talk show Monday night be pre-taped or live? Since you asked, it is pre-recorded. I don't know if that's I don't want to let the cat out of the bag or anything, but yeah, it's not live. But you want to be there for the premiere because it's probably going to be dropped as a premiere, like a live premiere. Yeah, listen, I was listening to Beatles live at the BBC yesterday. McCartney was the white little Richard back in those days. Outstanding voice. Lennon could rip it up too. I definitely agree with that 1,000%. And McCartney, yeah, he's inspiration. I think the biggest inspiration for Paul seems to be Little Richard, even though he was inspired by Buddy Holly a lot too, and Elvis and all the rest. Definitely, stealing those woos and things from Little Richard, borrowing them, if you want to say borrowing them. The topic is I hesitate to say it, but let's face it, it's Ringo's new album again. And I say again because there have been a lot of shows, including on my own. I did a couple of shows. I did a Fab Gab show on Ringo's new album, Look Up. I did a video review of Look Up. It's all over the place, and it's kind of late, but better late than never because we didn't get to do a show for a couple of months. So we have to, you still want to know what my co-hosts think of the new album, and if you hadn't heard me, and then it's some interesting conversation. I gotta say, in debates, I'll tell you that there's interesting debate going on in there at one point if you listen to the whole thing. But there's also going to be a couple of surprises, I would say. So there you go. I heard Monkberry Moon Delight recently. Didn't know who it was for a while, but wow, yeah. Now you know. Now you know. Yeah, I know what the album is, the McCartney 3 Imagined, but I didn't like any of them, to tell you the truth. I remember hearing some of them, and I didn't really love them. Yeah, I know what it is. Look, the only Black Sabbath album that I had really was Paranoid. And I know I like a few songs off that album. Paranoid, I like Iron Man. And that's the one I had. Now I did have their first album, the Black Sabbath album with the weird lady on it. That was all right too. I don't know. Those are the only two that I was ever somewhat familiar with. Do you like karaoke? And what Beatles tune would you love to have a crack at? We did karaoke one time, not out professionally. We didn't go out to a club or a bar or anything like that. We did it at home somewhere once years ago, and I did do the Ballad of John and Yoko. I sang that. It's the best I could say. Hello, Mr. Beatle Pro. What's going on, Beatles Pro? What's going on, Tom? Mr. Beatles Pro. I know you got another video up, and haven't gotten to it yet. Was Slow Down and Matchbox the only covered 45 the Beatles released? And did either hit the top 10. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a double cover. Kansas City and Boys. They had Boys in Kansas City together, which was on the greenish label, Capital Starline. I think it was in Canada, maybe. And that's a double cover as well. Don't know where it hit in the charts, though. The highlights, BBC we're talking about, Soldier of Love, agreed. Keep Your Hands Off My Baby, I agree. But the problem with Keep Your Hands Off My Baby is great. But the sound quality, that's one of the weakest sound qualities that they have. They've been able to get better sound and find better sources for most of those, right? But for that one, Keep Your Hands Off My Baby, they need to boost it up more. Anyway, That's All Right, Long Tall Sally, Carol, Johnny Be Good, I'll Be On My Way, and Can't Buy Me Love. Those are all solid. And I think I'll Be On My Way is like my favorite song that I wish the Beatles had recorded properly in the studio. That and Bad to Me. Well, three. Bad to Me, I'll Be On My Way, and World Without Love. Those three, I think, would have made great Beatle recordings. What makes you buy a comic? Age, title, particular superhero, cover art, if it's possibly not value, but the other things, the age, the title, the superhero in question, the artwork. I like the artwork. Yeah. So, man, what a dryness in here. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, Bad to Me is a good demo. There was also a bit of a demo of Paul doing World Without Love. It was on YouTube for a while, a real one. This is before they did AI and all that stuff. And I thought it was pretty good. It's short. It's not the whole thing, but there was a little tiny bit of Paul singing World Without Love. I don't know if it's still easy to find, but it's true. It's real. It's not fake. I just picked up a spoof comic with the Beatles on the cover. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was spoof. Do you have a way of storing your vinyl alphabetical, year, release, last play? I just put it alphabetical. I do it alphabetically. And that spoof comic with the Beatles on the covers from the early 70s. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Apparently, Lennon wrote Bad to Me, especially for Billy J. Kramer on the infamous Holiday in Spain with Brian Epstein, but he sings it brilliantly too. Amen. And yeah. Is Alice Cooper A or C? That's a good question. First of all, I don't think I have any Alice Cooper in my collection except for an album called Constrictor, which I have on CD. Right now, I don't have the CDs. And I have the vinyl kind of alphabetical, more or less, but the CDs I got to work on. But how would I file that? I probably an A in that because it's a band, right? Alice Cooper is a band. So I probably would do it under A. World Without Love demo is still there. It's rough, but interesting to hear. What's your favorite blues album of all time? Oh, you got me. I could pick a Rolling Stones album, but that's cheating, isn't it? Yes, I have the Beatles Forever book by Nicholas Schaffner, and a couple of things. Number one, that was the first big Beatle book that I got. My mother bought me that when I was 15. I still have the original copy. It's up there somewhere, probably in this batch here. But anyway, and I went to a Beatle Fest in the early 1980s, and I got it signed by the author Nicholas Schaffner, who died young, sadly. But I got it autographed by Nicholas Schaffner, and it was a great book for the time. That book had a lot of information, and both information. It was well written. I think it was 1977-ish. But also it had like some rarities, like a lot of rare photos of different records and things. So that was good. You didn't see a lot of that stuff, Yep. Very good book. In the 80s, there was a fad of rock group bios in comic form. I had the Doors, but there were Beatle comics. I do have it. There was like it's a magazine size. It's not a little comic book size. It's a full magazine size, and I have one. Okay, have you heard about the recording John, Paul, George, and Ringo made with Lou Walters for the Hurricanes in Hamburg, 1960? Alan Williams had the only copy, but left it in a taxi. Is that Fever and Summer? Is the song Fever and Summertime? Would that be it? Tell me. I don't know. That I'm wondering if that's what it is. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. Summertime. That's it. Well done. So 2 songs, Fever, the song Fever, and Summertime. I think it was 2 songs, but Summertime, definitely. We're on the right track with that one. So Peter Jackson has the footage of Alan Williams discussing it with the Fabs during Get Back. Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, I almost got it. All right. Mark Lewison and Bruce Spies are the best Beatles authors. I wouldn't really disagree with that. I have that book, Growing Up with the Beatles, by Nicholas. Well, it's not Nicholas Schaffner. It's Ron Schomburg. But it is a great book. I've seen some of Stuart Sutcliffe's paintings. Very nice. I heard the Bukuza Blues album on Pandora this morning. It was really good. Great musicians. It's too bad Ringo didn't do more country albums before now. Yeah, we wanted him to do country albums for a long time, and now he's giving us what I call a gem. For me personally, I think the new album is much better than Bukuza Blues, but I know everybody's different with that. Well, anyway, folks, I think we've reached the end of the line today. I want to thank everybody in the comments for coming up and, joining in. Thank you all. I want to remind everybody that the return of Talk More Talk is going to be this Monday, only a couple of days away. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay, over on the Talk More Talk channel. Now, I know the topic, we've talked a lot about Ringo's new album, Look Up. Don't let that deter you. Please give it a shot because, we're going to be talking about it, all of us, and, there might be some interesting surprises. Beatles Forever is what you meant. Oh, okay, you got it. We agree there. Okay, gotcha. All right, folks. So I'm just looking at some last minute. Thank you very much. For everybody, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you. And I should be here again, hopefully next Saturday around the same time.